Greetings, I'm JaMari Alexander, a rising sophomore at Virginia State University, and this is my Trojan Introductory Program questions. So the first question that we have is, if you were deciding on what to get in the candy bar, would you choose sweet or sour? Me personally, I would choose sour because sour has like a really like tangy. The thing about sour is sour becomes sweet after a while. So if you eat something that's sour, about a couple of seconds later, it's gonna taste sweet, and like that process of it is kind of like it's like a rewarding process for me. I like how that works, so I will always choose sour candy over sweet because sweet is just sweet from the jump. But some people can't take sour, so it depends on the person really. But I would choose sour. The second question is, if you had $1 million to spare, who would you give it to and why? If I had $1 million to spare, I would not be able to decide on one individual to give it to other than like a family member. So outside of my, family members, if it had to be a random person in the street, I couldn't decide. I would have to give it to a charity of my choice because I can't pinpoint one person in need unless someone shows me like a homeless person or a woman with several kids, they have nowhere to go. For example, that would be my number one choice, but it would be hard for me to decide on one single person because I want to help everyone and I don't have much. So I would probably donate to a charity where they could distribute it among several families rather than just one person. The third question is, if you had to give a piece of advice to the incoming class of 2025, what would it be? My biggest advice to them would be, please get out of your rooms. Like, don't try to stay in your rooms all day, not, meet anyone, or just don't go to any activities. Try to get out as much as you can and make your name heard. But don't be out there too much, but just try to get to know your HBCU a little bit better because everyone around here, you don't want to be secluded. You don't want to be that guy that never comes out or that girl that, people don't really recognize. So just try to pop out every now and then just so people, know who you are a little bit. The fourth question is, if you had to create a scent for an upcoming body mist or cologne, what would you name it and what elements would you put in? I would name it, I'm a pretty corny guy. I'm a pretty basic guy. So if I have my own cologne, I'm literally just gonna name it Cool. Like literally, I'm gonna put COOL on it with a period and name it Cool. It would smell like a mist. I'm not sure what mist it would smell like. I want to say ocean, but I don't think an ocean smells good. I would say maybe like a sauna. Not necessarily a sauna, but a cool mist, consisting of maybe chamomile. Yeah, you ever heard of chamomile in a cologne? Yeah, it would. That's like an element that it would have. The fifth question is, if you could go back into history and change one thing, what would you change? In terms of history, anything that I would change maybe back in the 1900s pertaining to slavery when we had certain rights, such as, the Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King movement. If I could change, the course of actions or the course of events, pertaining to Martin Luther King's assassination, or just any, even Malcolm X, anything like that, I would try to let them know beforehand that something was going to happen if that's the way that it carried over. But I feel that if we had one of those leaders today in our times, like things would be not a lot different, but we'd have a much, much better guide of which direction that we should go. And the last question is, what legacy will I leave at VSU? At VSU, I just want to leave the legacy of being bold, being different. Don't try to fit in with others. Don't try to fit this guideline that others have set for you. Start your journey as you want it and end it as you want it. So that's the legacy I want to leave. And I, JaMari Alexander, have reviewed the qualifications, responsibilities, and terms of employment for the Trojan Introduction Program. Thank you.